Hello and welcome to the Chop It Up podcast, the show that's unfiltered and unapologetic. Each episode will bring you closer to finding your purpose. And for our loyal listeners, a special surprise awaits you at the end. Be sure to listen all the way through. Now, here's your host, Carmisha Superville.
Welcome back to the Chop It Up podcast. I know things look a little bit different, but listen, you guys, this is New York City. I'm at an amazing event, but I cannot drop the ball and not bring you the juice. I am so honored to have this particular woman, certainly as we celebrate Women's History Month. This is a trailblazer. So I'm honored, and I had to make sure and nail down, this interview, you guys. So I'm honored to share the stage with the president and founder of the Women's Chamber of Commerce right here in New York City, Miss Quenia Abreu. Quenia, how are you?
I am good. I am doing great. Thank you so much for taking time to connect with me. I really appreciate that.
You're most welcome. No, you listen, I look up to women like you that are really shifting the culture and really making a difference in so many communities, right? And I just admire all the events that you put together, really bringing women together, especially knowing that the pandemic has really impacted women-owned business, right? So I was like, we're going to make this work.
Thank you. Yes. It's been tough. I got to tell you, it's been very tough, for women entrepreneurs and especially for our women entrepreneurs of color. In this environment, it has been difficult, but I would tell you, women are so resilient. We just keep going. We don't stop. And that's one of the, most amazing thing about, especially New York, women, we don't give up, women entrepreneurs in New York, they shut us down during the pandemic. We couldn't open up and women were still busy. Women were still trying to make a living. Women were still, going at it. They would not give up. We don't have that many businesses that were women owned that closed. We just kept going because that's who we are. That's what New York stands for. And especially, I'll tell you, women of color, I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing how tough we are and how much we would, just continue to go on and brave. We are so incredibly brave. That's what we women in New York, really stand for.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think you said it. You said a handful. So let's dissect what you said. You said we're resilient, right?
Mm-hmm.
We are women of color, right? You said that the pandemic has been really tough, but we are still able to come out and succeed. Let's talk a lot about resiliency. We talk about resilience and women of color always having to be strong, right? What is your take on that? Are there times that we should be able to show our vulnerability and show our softer side? What is your take on the fact that women of color always have to be strong and always have to kind of like propel themselves forward despite whatever is taking place?
So we all have a softer side. That's for sure. Just the fact that we're women, we're nurturing, we want to take care of everybody, which we did, even during the pandemic. Who were the ones that stayed home with the children? We were, we were the ones making sure that our parents were taken care of, that our kids were taken care of. So there's always that softer side of us, but the truth is that we also, as I said, are very resilient. And, and it's okay to show the softer side. I always say, it's okay to show the softer side because that's who we are. We are mothers, we're sisters, we are, granddaughters, we're friends. And one of the things that we did during the pandemic was that we kept working with each other. We
Yes.
never really disconnected from each other. We continue that sisterhood, continue. We were still working together. We were still checking on each other. We were still trying to help each other out as much as we could, because yes, there is a softer side. I mean, we can't deny that. I mean, we come from families that are, very, connected and very tight. And we come also from communities that are very tight, and I think that's one of the reasons why the businesses that are owned by people of color were able to survive even more so than others, because we are so very tight in our communities that we lifted each other up and we supported each other during this pandemic.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? You're so right. Outside of the podcast, and I have a small business as well. And to be honest, your organization, the Chamber of Commerce, even during the height of it, you guys were still doing virtual events. You were still sending out communication. You were still making sure that the intel was still there. And I think that's a great thing when we talk about community, right? When we build community and we sustain community by really creating that ecosystem. So I definitely agree with you on that. So Quenia, let me ask you, so you've been doing this work for over 20 years, right? In terms of the founder and really organizing and bringing women together and so forth. What inspired you to want to open up or want to organize or galvanize and create your own Chamber of Commerce?
Well, it's just women. I come from a family that it's where we have so many women in our family, and I grew up with a lot of women supporting each other. And when I was working before with the Hunts Point Economic Development Corporation, and later on with the Queens Economic Development Corporation as head of business services and the Women's Business Center. And one of the things that I kept advising women to do was to go and join chambers of commerce and business associations. And they will come back and say, I went, I didn't like it. It was just mainly men, and they don't even pay attention to us. So right. I said, So I really thought that we had a women's chamber, because I was familiar with other women's chamber of commerce in other states. So when I did some research, I realized that we didn't have one. I said, this is crazy. This is New York City. We are the city with one of the highest percentage of women-owned businesses in this country. I mean, how could we not have a women's chamber of commerce? And that's why we did that. That's why I started the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. It was responding to that need, where women were looking for that network, where women were looking to connect with other women entrepreneurs and learn from them and do business with them and create this type of, sisterhood and network that was going to help them support each other and really grow their business and learn from each other.
Got it. So what keeps you, as I said, Quenia, you're someone that we really look up to, and especially as a millennial trying to figure out life and trying to figure out my business, right? What keeps you motivated when, so you've been doing this work for over 10 plus years. What inspires
20 this year.
Listen, I
Don't
was
make
trying
me
to
so
be
old.
honest.
Don't make me so old.
Well, that's why I said 10. I said 10 plus years. Listen, I wanted to ask you, what motivates you? Because we are dealing with so much, especially in New York City, right? And I know the height of the pandemic, so many of us were falling victims to depression, right? And just really feeling like, not motivated. So what motivates you? What inspires you to get up each day? What would you say?
Women like you inspired me. That's really what it is. It's women like you, women that I see that really want to start and grow a business and be successful business women. That's what really inspires me, and to see you become successful. There's nothing that makes me more happy, that brings a smile to my face, than when someone calls the office and say, we got this contract, I got this loan that I was applying for, I got this grant, I'm expanding my business. That's what makes me happy, and that's why I do what I do, because that's what we exist, and that's why we started the New York Women's Chamber. And to me, it's women like you, and to see you succeed in life and really become the next millionaire, the next business, women, millionaire. That's what inspires me.
That's beautiful. Thank you so much. And I think that also inspires me to also want to show up. Like, even organizing this podcast interview, it's like just staying focused and really understanding the big picture. It's not about me. It's like the same as you can also attest. It's not about you. It's about how do we create synergies? How do we create ecosystems, right? How do we really pass on legacy, right? Of kindness, of showing up and supporting each other. So I appreciate that. Let's talk a little bit about your initiatives. So what are some of the initiatives that you're working on, and why should a woman-owned business, why should they join the Chamber of Commerce, the Women's Chamber of Commerce, as opposed to the other chambers?
Yes. Well, we're very unique. We're a very unique Chamber of Commerce, and I take a lot of pride in saying that. We work with a lot of the other chambers, but they work primarily with a lot of them with bigger companies. We work with the smaller companies. We work with women entrepreneurs from their start until they become big, until like they expand, until they're making all the money that they want to make. So that's what we do. And so we do you see the networking events that we do. That's part of that. But then we also provide direct services to our women entrepreneurs, meaning, if you want to start a business, or if you already have a business and want to grow your business and need the tools and resources that any business owners needs to grow their business, we can offer you that. We are what we call a one-stop shop for small businesses, for women entrepreneurs. So you will find everything under the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. That's what we are, take a lot of pride in, being not just a networking organization, but we also an advocacy organization. We advocate on behalf of women entrepreneurs. A lot of the legislation that have been passed throughout the years, the last 20 years, that have to do with advancing women entrepreneurs, we have been at the table fighting for that, like the MWB law of the city and state. And some people don't know that, but we are behind a lot of those legislations. And then, we make sure that that women get the resources that they need. We fought very hard during the pandemic to make sure that the financial resources came to New York City, that financial resources were available, not just to women, but especially to women of color. So we worked with different organizations like LISC, New York, ESD, Empire State Development Corporation, Department of Small Business Services, to make sure that initiatives were created that were going to bring funding to entrepreneurs, and really to our women entrepreneurs of color, making sure that they came to our communities to offer those. So, yeah, so we are involved in a lot of things, making sure that that the resources come, and that the resources are available to our women entrepreneurs, and especially, like I said before, to our women entrepreneurs of color.
Yeah, I love that. And I just want to thank you certainly for the work that you do, because I see it. What is your fondness as this is Women's History Month, right? And
yes.
This is also the Chop It Up podcast, so we always want to be unfiltered. Let me ask you, what is your take on this, right? We hear a lot that even though women should be more united, right, as women business owners, sometimes we are not. Sometimes there's a lot of competition, even though we hear the tagline, competition, no. Is it collaboration over competition, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What is your take on that? Do you think that it's do you think that we still have some ways to go where women can really see each other and see a comrade, see a collaboration opportunity as opposed to a competition? What is your take on that, and what has been your experience with that?
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, she just went there. Oh my
I went
goodness.
there
You
because
just went there.
you know what? Because I talk to a lot of my female colleagues, and that conversation, those sentiments, they come up so often. And I'm like, you know what? This is a conversation we need to have, because a lot of women, even though we have those taglines, there's still a lot of competition, even in the workforce, you know?
Yes. And you're absolutely right. And we still have a lot to learn. You got to remember that we still not so new, but we're still relatively new to this whole, environment in terms of work and in terms of business.
Yeah.
Men have been doing this much longer than we have, and they have learned to work together. They have learned to put emotions to the side. And they have learned that when they need to come together, they need to do that. And we still learning. I would say that we're still in a learning process, and that we still have a lot to learn. It is true, because one of the things that I have learned and I have experienced in all these years working with women and working with men, because we work with both, but our focus is women, is that sometimes we allowed our emotions to get in the way. We still bring that a lot into the workspace, into the business space. And we forget that when you're doing business, you're just doing business.
Yeah.
And yes, and we need to leave, certain things to the side. The drama, the emotion sometimes. I mean, we are, of course, creatures of emotion, and that's a beautiful thing, but we have to know when we allow those emotions to come into play, and when we have to just push them to the side and say, okay, emotions, I'll deal with you later, not right now. We have to learn to do that. And in terms of sisterhood, in terms of supporting and working with each other, yes, we still have a lot to learn. I have to say that. We still have a lot to learn, because we have to learn that there is space for everyone. There are opportunities for all of us. And that not because you get an opportunity means that it's less opportunity for me. It's not true. There's opportunities for everyone. And what we have to learn is to work together to access more of those opportunities that are out there. Because guess what? When we come together, especially in business, when we come together, we have a bigger capacity to do business. Okay? We sometimes want to go in there alone for opportunities, but we don't have the capacity to take on a project sometimes, to take on a contract. But if we come together, if we collaborate and we come together, then the capacity is bigger. The opportunities are bigger. And the resources, we can then bring resources together, which will then allow us to have access to bigger opportunities. And those are the things that we need to look at and realize and understand. Okay?
Listen, you're preaching to the choir, so you know me. That's why I'm not interrupting you. You're preaching to the choir.
Yes. So that's what it is. And we need to support each other. If there's one thing that, as I said, that we can learn from men, is that what I said before, we got to put our emotions to the side, the drama to the side, and learn to work together more, learn to support each other more.
But because Quenia, not to cut you off, but I
Yeah.
want you to stay on topic though. I want you to say what you just said. You said something that's key that I don't think a lot of us really understand. And that's what separates true business professional from the amateurs. You said that when we come together, we have a greater capacity to
Yes.
truly maximize an opportunity to its
Yes.
fullest potential. When you said
Yes.
that, that's it. You just need to drop the mic because that is key. And we don't see that, especially being that we are in New York and you might be bidding for a government contract, right? Or a corporate opportunity. You coming as a small business with a workforce of 50 or less, you don't have the capacity. That's why we
Exactly.
should team up, right? And let me
Yes.
bring you into it. So that's key. I didn't even think about it that way. But that's
Yes.
key.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So imagine, let's say, there's, like you said, there's a contract, right? And you have been doing projects that maybe are less than, let's say, $100,000. Don't go more than $100,000. But this project calls for somebody that could do $500,000, right? But you have only shown that you all have only had the capacity to do 100, but you have somebody else that have done 300, 400, and you come together,
Come on. Come on.
you know.
Kenya, oh my gosh, girl, you're making my feet tingle.
Yes. And that's what men do. And that's what people in business have been doing for a very long time.
They don't understand. They don't understand. Kenya, this is the reason why I really love this podcast and I'm so passionate about it because of women like you, because of people like you, because these are the conversations that a lot of us are not having. No one can tell me that what I am doing here is not for the culture. What you just said, it is so practical. It's literally something that we don't even think about, something as minute, but not really. As you're talking, I am literally working strategically with a business partner because we are going to work together to bid on a contract. I knew that
Perfect.
I couldn't do it by myself. And also because I'm willing and I want to scale my business is the reason why I brought her in. And she said the same thing. She said so many times, Kamisha, we as women don't know how to work together. And so you're literally preaching to the choir. You're preaching to the choir.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
truth. That's the truth, Kamisha. That's how it is. And men have been doing this for a very long time. When you hear about, that somebody invested in somebody else's project, that's partnership. When other people are able to leverage other people's money and resources, it's the same thing. It's the same
Yes.
thing. And one of the things I want to say, Kamisha, is also we can't be afraid to bring other sisters into a space.
Yes.
If they
Yes.
invite you to a meeting where there's going to be opportunities, you got to bring other people. I'm going to tell you this. Sometimes I go to meetings, right? And men do this. Men never go alone. Men never go to a meeting a man doesn't go to a meeting by himself. He always brings somebody along with him. Okay. It is called his army.
Yes, ma'am.
His
Yes,
army,
ma'am.
But we're so afraid to bring a sister along with us that we feel we have to go by ourselves. No, bring a group with you. It's called my people. This is what I tell. These are my people. These are my
Yes.
people. What does
Yeah.
that mean? What does that do? What does that do? It shows strength. It shows strength.
Yes.
It shows that
Yeah.
you have support. It shows that you belong to a network. Okay. And that's important. And what they see is, oh, this is a woman that can work with other. This is a woman that has resources. This is a woman that can bring other to the table. Okay. And it's a perception and it's an image. It's an image that we present to the world and to those people that are looking to do business with you.
You know what's so crazy? It's like when I started my career, I literally worked differently. Like I didn't, so a lot of the things, and these are all characteristics that you're describing, right? A lot of that I used to just do just because. Like I never used to think about it. It wasn't even intentional. It was just me knowing that I never want to show up anywhere alone. Like I've always been about building communities, right? Building different ecosystems. And it's only now that I'm a little bit more evolved and now talking to people like you, now I see that, wow, what I was doing all those years actually was something that was not the norm. Because a lot of times, people feel like if I introduce X, Y, and Z to an opportunity, they're going to take it from me. And, unfortunately, so many people have been kind of like taken advantage of. I was speaking to a young lady recently, and she said, Kamisha, I have been such a good hearted person to so many, but so many people have taken advantage of my kindness. So I understand it, but I want to ask you as someone I look up to and someone who's very well established, what can you say to a woman, especially a budding entrepreneur, someone that's seasoned? What advice would you say to someone who has been, you know, mistreated, has had bad experiences with other female business owners, and so they are not trusting of those collaboration over competition? What advice would you say in this moment, in this space?
Let me tell you, Kamisha, I have also, been, in situations where people have taken an idea from, from me, where people, have done certain things. And that's going to happen. That's going to happen. But then there are a lot of other people out there that are going to be different, that are the opposite, that they're going to want to work with you, that they're going to want to lift you up, that they're going to want to partner with you. So what you have to do is that you have to vet people.
Yeah.
You have to vet people. You can't just, bring anybody to the table with you. Okay. You have to know the person. You have to know what their interests are. What is their background? What have they done in the past? What is it that they want to do? And the best relationships in terms of business are those relationships that complement each other.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
complement each other. So you have to, it's one of the things that yes, I totally understand, but you have to trust. You have to give people an opportunity so other people can give you an opportunity. And but you have to vet people. Okay, you have to vet people, because at the end, it is a business transaction. At the end, it is a partnership or whatever, a joint venture, whatever relationship you are going to have. So you have to make sure that you vet the person, that you watch the person, that first you develop a relationship with that person before you bring them, to the table with you.
Wow. It's like dating. You have to.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, very much so. Just like dating.
Yeah.
Yeah, matchmaking.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, it's kind of scary when you put it like that. It's like, because I'm in a situation right now, is that I'm bringing someone to a huge opportunity. I haven't really vetted them a lot, but I just go on vibes. I'm just like, I'm
But
all
that's
about vibes.
fine.
Yeah.
That's fine too. That's fine too,
Yeah.
because most of the times, you can feel the person's energy. You can feel the person's energy. But once you decide to really go into a business relationship in terms of, as I said before, partnership, joint ventures, whatever it is that you're going to do, you do have to vet the person. You do have to know what this person is about, the background and all of that, because you're going to go into a legal binding relationship.
Yeah. Ooh, some things to think about. I'm talking to you and my mind is just like, oh my God.
I know that. And I'm going to tell you this, Tamisha. And one of the things is because we women do this. We women do this where we fall in love, not just the person that, no. It's just people, friends, whatever, we just, oh my God, this is the best person in the world. This is, so one of the things that we always have to do when we go into a business relationship is that we have to have some type of agreement, even if it's with your sister, even if it's with a family member. I tell people, do yourself a favor, have an agreement. Okay. Because that protects the relationship, that protects you, that protects the other person. Because then, if things don't go your way or they don't go the person's way, then you can, deal with that. But make sure that if you're really going to go into a business relationship with this person, that there is some type of agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. Food for thought. Now, Quenia, we all know that you can go into the most immaculate, contract, but folks can still, do what they want to do.
Oh,
so yeah. So that's the scary thing. But I think what you said is essential. What I heard is trust. What I heard is giving a woman-owned business an opportunity to show up.
Yes.
Because somebody is going to give you, or you would want somebody to give you an opportunity.
Exactly.
That's what I heard.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is true. That is true. And I will tell you this, Kamisha, I am in the place that I am today because other women gave me an opportunity, because other women stood by my side and believed in what I believed. So it is important that we do that. That we also believe in other women and we also give them an opportunity. But I also have to say that also give men an opportunity. And the reason for that is because, we sometimes, just, in this whole environment again of business, sometimes, that person that might give you that opportunity might, it might turn, be a guy, might be a man. So give them also an opportunity. And one of the things I always say, at the end of the day, business has no gender.
Right.
Business has no gender. Money has no gender, no color.
That's right.
So
That's right.
So, and I will tell you this. I always tell women this also: find mentors, find yourself mentors. Sometimes you don't even have to tell them that they're mentors, because mentorship relationships could be formal, could be informal. You don't have to, they don't even know sometimes that they have become your mentors and they are your mentors. And again, give, other women the opportunity to become your mentors and do the same with other women, but also find men that you can learn from, to also be your mentor. Why? Because as I said before, men have been doing this longer than we have. So there's a lot that we can learn from them as well.
Absolutely. Do you have any mentors?
Yes, I do.
Oh, good.
Yes, I do.
What is a book that you're currently reading right now?
Oh my God, what am I reading? I don't even know, because you know what it is. I'm constantly reading all these business, news that are coming out. I read Cranes every day. I read the New York Times every day. So lately, that's my reading. Lately, and with everything that's going on, in the world. So most of my reading right now, it's really, news and business news more than anything else.
Yeah, got it. Well, listen, I want to just thank you so much for this candid conversation, this beautiful conversation, and certainly availing yourself to it. I think it's so essential. You certainly inspire me. It's crazy because I wanted to open up or, founded my own chamber. It was a little bit different. It was more for like young people and so forth. And you
I
kind
like
of,
that. I like
yeah,
that.
but you kind of inspired me to even think along those lines because I know about you for a while. And one of my fondest memories is before the pandemic, your organization is not only you, it's your team. You guys organized a huge event out in Harlem. For like over 300 plus women came out.
Yeah.
And what I love that you guys honored us with a photo shoot. Like every woman that signed
Yes.
up, we were able to get a photo shoot
Yes.
and you put us in
Yes.
a newsletter. And I'm like, wow, she goes hard. And that, yeah. And so,
Well, we have to celebrate women. We have come a long way. We have come such a long way, and we still have a lot to do. So, but we have to celebrate. That's another thing, Kamisha. We have to celebrate each other. We have to make sure that we celebrate our accomplishments, that, we promote each other, that we tell each other about each other's business, that we recommend each other business, because that's important. That's what we need to do for each other.
yes. Oh my gosh, Kenya, we recommend each other in business. Oh my
Yes.
goodness. Listen, you got to come back on. You got to come back on this podcast. Yes.
Anytime, babe.
Oh,
Anytime.
thank you.
And if
Thank you
you
so
want,
much.
a specific topic, just let me know, because that's what I do. And that's my passion. That is really my passion, to really, connect women entrepreneurs, to open doors for women entrepreneurs, to advocate and promote our women entrepreneurs. That's really, my passion. And I take a lot of pride, not only in doing that, but really seeing our women entrepreneurs succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we appreciate it. And I'm going to say this publicly so that everyone can hear you, all our listeners, that I's going to need some support now. Because Kamisha does a lot, so I'll definitely be contacting your office because we're looking to do some. No, seriously, I want to do some strategic events with you, so I'll reach out to you
Love
on
to.
that.
Please
Yeah,
do so. Please do so, because we love that, and we love partnering with other women and other women's organizations. So please do reach out.
I will. I will. Thank you so much. So, listen, as we wrap up, certainly we are so blessed to be on the Daily Gospel Network. So, I have two questions for you. One being, and you can answer that like at the last, or however you choose to. So, one being, what is faith? How does your faith impact your decisions, impact your lifestyle? How does faith allow you to show up for yourself? So you can answer that. And of course, it's Women's History Month, so we got to know. Name three women that inspire you. They could have passed on, or they could still be alive with us. Three women that inspire you. So how does your faith impact your business or your decisions that you have to make as the president of your organization, and women that inspire you?
I'm a believer. I'm a believer of God and in Jesus, and so that faith plays a big part of my life. I don't do anything without first asking for blessing and thanking. That's how I start my day, Kamisha. I start my day with a thank you, and asking for blessings from God and from Jesus. That's how I start my day every day, because I believe that nothing happens without the blessing blessing of God and the blessing of Jesus. And I believe that good things happen to you when you put those in the hands of God, in the hands of God and the hands of Jesus. That's what I believe. So, and I always say, God, if this is what you want, send me a sign. If you want me to do this, if you think this is what you want me to do, just tell me. And then I also say sometimes, Kamisha, stop whispering so much stuff in my head, because you
Right.
know that I can only do with so much. So
Yes.
because I also know that God is always whispering, in our ears. And what I do, everything that I do, Kamisha, even the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce, is because, it's a higher calling. There are times when I'm tired and I said, oh my God, I can't do this anymore. And then God comes and just sends me this thing, this message. And I said, okay, I hear you. Yes, we're doing this, we're doing this. So, faith is a big part of my life. And, I do everything with faith and believing that everything is possible because God is on your side.
Amen. Amen. All right. That's powerful. That's powerful.
Yeah.
So 3 women that
Oh
inspire
my
you,
goodness.
dead
Three
or
women that
alive.
I would tell you, my grandmother from my mother's side she's, passed away. And oh my goodness, my mama, as I call her, helped, my mother raised me. I had 11 children, 8 were women. And then she helped raise me and she helped raise my children as well, because it does take a village. It really takes a village. So she has always been a tremendous inspiration. My grandmother was very hardworking, came here as an immigrant, and, helped her grandchildren, her children, everybody. And my grandmother was also a woman of faith, a woman that, didn't matter what happened in the family. She always had faith in God that things were going to get better. And she instilled that in all of us. So she has always, if my highest, admiration and respect for her. She was really a matriarch, and my whole family calls her, even now that she's gone, calls her La Doña, which is, the highest, when you call somebody with the highest respect. And then my mom, my mother, who came here also as an immigrant with 5 children, and, was able to send us, put us through school, and told us that everything is possible if you apply yourself to it. And also told us that you have to own your own property, that you don't want to pay a landlord, rent for the rest of your life. So because of her, we are, most of her children are homeowners. And she learned English, after she came here, when she was already like in her 30s. Also one of my biggest, inspiration. And then, oh my goodness, the big O, as I always call her, the Oprah. It's a tremendous inspiration. I've always said that if somebody will ask me, who do you want to meet that you haven't met, I would say, Oprah
Yeah.
Winfrey. I admire her tremendously. And you know what I admire most about her? And the same with my grandmother is their ability to give to
Mm.
others. That's what I admire. I mean, my grandmother, of course, didn't have the fortune that Oprah had, but it's the same to me. To be able to take care of others, to be able to use the good that they have received, that God has given them, that life has given them, to help others. That is why I admire them so much.
Yeah. No, oh my gosh. We have so much in common. We have so much in common. Everything you said and stated, I receive, and I truly agree. My grandmother was the same way, as you said, immigrant, just amazing. She will give anybody the shirt off her back, and that's throughout her life, right? The tapestry of her life. So there's something to be said about those type of people. And I can see a lot of that in you, and similar to me. And I think that's the reason why we're so successful. And whatever we put our hands to, right, or put our minds to, is because of that love and really loving others and truly believing that. Yeah, it's not a competition for me. It's not a competition for you. It's about sharing that love and
Mm-hmm.
that. Yeah, so I can see that. That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, this is the end. We want to thank you so much for joining us on the Chop It Up podcast. Before we wrap up, because you are truly inspiring and very inspirational, what words of inspiration can you leave with our audience? What words of inspiration?
Well, I just wanted, the words that I want to leave our audience with is to never give up, in your, and, when it comes to your dreams, and to always, believe that dreams can, become reality. That dreams, that's what they are. They are ideas and, things that, we perceive and conceive in our mind, but those dreams can always become reality. But you got to believe that they can do that dreams can become reality. And one more thing I want to say, and I think I said that at the event, because I say this a lot, is that believe in your dreams, and but also believe that you are allowed to change your dreams. Okay.
Mm,
That you are allowed to change your dreams. That if a
yeah.
dream is not working, for you, that you can change it, that you have the freedom to do that because it is your dream. So
Mm,
never hold on to a dream that can become a nightmare or that doesn't have the possibility to be, because there's a difference between dream and fantasy. Two different things. So dreams can always become reality. And look for support. Because sometimes we don't allow our dreams to become a reality because we don't want to share those dreams with others. We don't want to ask for support. And do that. It's okay to ask for help and to ask for support. Okay. You can do it, but you cannot do it alone. That's
I
very
love
important
it.
for people to understand. And I'm going to use one of my favorite phrases because it does take a village, but you decide who you want in your village. And there's so many people that want to be in your village. You just have to ask.
That's it. President and founder and trailblazer of the Women's Chamber of Commerce, New York City, Miss Quenia Abreu. It's been an
Thank you.
honor. I thank you so much for this honest conversation. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Yes. Be well. Happy
You
Women's
too.
History Month.
Same to you, my love.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Before we go, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and share this amazing conversation. Like, subscribe, and share. We have just spoken with the president of the Chamber of Commerce, the Women's Chamber of Commerce. She has dropped some nuggets that touch my soul, and I know it penetrates your heart. Thank you for watching the Chop It Up podcast. Thank you for listening to the Chop It Up podcast. I'll see you guys on the next one.